Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 20 of the Conscious Hotline, your source for all things conscious and hot. You got it, baby. I am so excited to have my dear friend, and I love Instagram for bringing the most talented, unique, creative people together on the show today. And we're going to kind of debunk tarot card reading because we're kind of in that era where everyone's exploring this new and exciting way of connecting with their intuition. Let's welcome Landon to the show. And as always, if you have questions, post them in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Hi, wonderful.
Hello.
I'm so happy to be having you on the show finally. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely happy to be here today.
Yay. Well, I was telling everyone before you joined just that we're going to kind of debunk what tarot card reading is because it's hot and it's here and it's now and everyone wants a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for, we always start the show with kind of like a juicy opener. And I would love to know if you're comfortable sharing if there was a breaking point that got you to having to do this work of owning and honoring and looking at your intuition. What was that moment?
Yeah. There's been so many. So I'm trying to think of a big one.
Yeah.
Let's think. A few years ago, so about 2 years ago, I was actually going to college. I'm a dancer, and so I was going for a dance degree. And it got
wildly talented. I've seen your videos. You're incredible.
Thank you. But I got to a point where I felt called to go to a dance intensive in Italy for a month in the summertime. And my physical reality said, no, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. Every person in my life was like, are you sure that's a good option? And so I ended up saying, like, you know what, this is what I need to do. But I said yes. I went to Italy, and then on my way there, learned so much, expanded so much. The energy there was just incredible. And then I was able to tap more into not only my dancing, but then also the energy of such an old country. Whereas like living in America, we are a baby country compared to others. So just getting out of the country and doing that, and then just trusting that I'd be okay. Coming back from Italy, I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know how I was going to afford school. I didn't know if my job was still going to be there. And so it's just like a ton of unknowns. And so I remember sitting down and being like, I have no idea, but I know I can enjoy this moment right now. And so that little shift right there got me to enjoy the now moments so much more. And now being able to understand that, and then when all of these unknowns hit, especially like right now, everything's so unknown, being able to then guide and direct my own energy into being excited for just being here, but then also being able to help others through that maneuvering as well. And so that was really like a big turning point for me.
Yeah. And I love that taking a blind leap of faith led you into this path that you're now on of helping people heal themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I love your bio, what you said about your healing company. And it's like that everyone is their own best healer. And I think starting an episode that's about tarot card reading with you are your own best healer is so important because, like, yes, you can go pay a psychic and you can pay Landon and people should hire you because you are incredible to intuitive. And that you're simultaneously empowering people to be that for themselves because we do have everything we need within us.
Yeah, no, that's like the one thing that keeps coming up when I'm thinking of like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just helping people understand.
That's a daily question, Landon.
Yeah, I like just helping people understand that they don't need the external. All they need is themselves, but it's uncovering what's in them and asking, like, understanding that there's other questions to ask, not just like, who do I go see for this? You go see yourself first and see what's going on. And so that's just what I'm doing. And you are your own most powerful healer just seems to roll off the tongue for me. It's just, I love it.
Well, because it's true and it fits and it's authentic.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm curious, living in Arizona, that's more of a conservative state. It's a red state. How do you combat like the people being like, that's satanic? Because full transparency, I mean, my dad was so like, I remember one year I was here at his house for winter solstice and I brought my brother out and we were doing like a winter solstice ceremony. And my dad came out and was like, if you guys want to do that, you can sleep outside. Like, don't do any of that devil worship in my house. And he like freaked out. Now, on the contrary, today my dad's like, isn't the fall solstice coming up? And what are we going to do for it? So it's like, he's done a total 180, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When you're devil worshiping, you're like, what are we going to do to honor the coming of fall? You know? Like,
Oh, I love that.
We are. But how do you navigate that, and has that come up for you?
It's really interesting because I grew up in a very conservative household, and so coming from a conservative into a conservative state with all my friends being more conservative, I even had friends saying like, that is devil worship. You are contacting demons and spirits, and it's no good, no bueno. And so I literally had friends telling me this, and I was like, you guys just need to understand that it's all about intention. Yes, you can talk to demons and devil and all of the above, but I use the metaphor like you can use a knife to stab someone, but you just don't do it. Like, it's just not something that you do. And so with tarot cards, you can do that, but I choose not to. It's just something that I don't do. My intention is contact angels, spirit guides, galactic families, and ancestors. And so with that intention in mind, nothing outside of that is allowed to come through my cards. And so that's where I find the most empowerment, and that's how I try to explain it to people, especially being in a conservative state. Again, like up north, more in like Sedona and stuff, it's very much just like psychics and everything. But down here in like Phoenix and everything, it's more so just like, what are you doing type of thing, because it's just, they just know ghosts and they know demons. And so getting to understand like, no, there's, you can utilize this modality for so much, and you can gain so much clarity in it.
Yeah. So let's kind of start with, what is tarot to you? What does it mean?
Yeah. Tarot to me is just another clarity modality, just as if you were to go get like an aura reading or a psychic reading, if you were to go have like a similar to, you could do like therapy. You could like compare it a little bit to therapy, more so on the metaphysical than Western medicine, but like in a sense a little bit of therapy, a little bit of mentoring and guidance. And so to me, that's all it is, just providing clarity and literally just laying out what is going on through more physical. And so because what I do is I also do intuitive guidance sessions, which we connect to spirit guides and angels and galactic families and ancestors, but it's more so just like what information is just coming through. Whereas if I were to use tarot cards, it's a physical picture, which people can relate to. And so that's another reason I love doing tarot, because it has images and it has descriptions and it has just insights that you don't quite get as often if you don't utilize them, because they have their own little set of standards, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and even each of those things, like it rolls off the tongue for you because it's organic, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because it fits. But I'm like, we should probably do an episode on spirit guides, on angels, on galactic families, because I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah. But the common man would be like, what is happening here, you know? Yeah. So I really appreciate you sharing that. And I think there's no better way to explain something than doing it. So I'm excited to kind of do a live demo of what tarot is. And I just want to say to anyone out there that was nervous about it, you know, I can relate. Like I said, my dad was so Catholic, and you're sinning and devil worship. And I thought that my hair was going to catch on fire or fall out, or frogs would come out of my bathtub. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, I've got nothing to lose. Let me start pulling tarot. Yeah. And I pulled goddess cards and angel cards and all different. I have animal decks. I have zodiac decks. I have so many other decks. But I'd never used my tarot deck until the pandemic, and it's brought me a lot of clarity and healing. So for anyone out there that's worried about that, or your family's put a lot of fear into your brain, just know that like whatever energy you bring to it is what you're going to get out of it.
Because even on my end, like my family is very conservative, and so I'm still working through a few of them, but like my brothers and everything, they just didn't understand. And so when I sit people down, I'm like, no, this is how I use them. It just like flips a switch kind of, and they're like, oh, okay. Same thing with my mom. The other people, like my dad is still much like, no, let's not. But other than that, it's just very much just explaining the unknown, because everybody is so, it's, if it's unknown, it's kind of like pushed aside, and it's just like, no, that's going to stay over there. And so just
Absolutely.
unwinding it and clarifying, bringing it
Yeah.
out is
And
really,
I'm really passionate about racial justice, and the only thing that has ever statistically changed a racist person to be non-racist is positive exposure with the race that they feared.
yeah,
Because it's exactly that. We fear what we don't know. And so if you other somebody, well, then of course they can be scary to you. But once you know them, then you can't fear them, then you can love them. And so it's kind of this, it's one and the same.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I have my tarot decks out, so shall we?
Let's get this party started.
Let's do it. So I don't have a traditional tarot deck. The traditional tarot deck is what people know as like the Rider-Waite, is the one that most people have. My first tarot deck it's called the Spirit Song Tarot, and so this is the little box it came in,
Oh, pretty.
by Paulina Cassidy. It's gorgeous, but it has different suits, and so just in general, tarot has 4 different suits. It has pentacles, cups, wands, and swords, and so 4 different, and then it has, that's the minor arcana, and then it has 22 major arcana cards. And so mine has crystals, shells, feathers, and acorns, and so it's completely different. And so when I was trying to learn tarot, it was really fun. But in general, do you have a specific question or a specific topic you like the cards to look into, or?
Yes. So keeping it personal, because the Conscious Hotline is all about being real, raw, and authentic. I am currently breaking down the way that I choose to engage in my romantic relationships. I learned that with friendships, I'm all about mutual support, collaboration, respect, and trust and love. And when it comes to romance, I'm all about what can I get? And that's like, even saying it is like, ugh, I don't want to be that way. That's not how I am. But I'm just noticing that there's this great discrepancy. And so the question that I want to bring to Tarot today is how can I navigate the love relationships in my life? Like basically right now it's like love relationships are this way, friendships are this way, and there's a little space in the middle, but how can I have them like more overlap?
Okay, so how can we navigate?
Because I want to be friends with my lovers. I don't just want to like have
Exactly.
lovers that, you know, and then I'm like, well, he's an idiot. That's over. You know, it's like, no, that's not the energy I want to bring to dating.
Yeah, and so the way everybody does tarot differently, and so the way that I do it is I write on a whiteboard. I write like a general question, and that way I can keep that in mind, since it's all about intention. So keeping that intention in mind. So that's how I do it, and then we're just gonna pull cards. And I figured I'd pull 3 cards today. The first one will be something just like how your love life has been, and so just a past, present, future, and so how your love life has been, what's going on right now, and then a suggestion, I think would be super helpful. And so just to see like where did this start, that'll be what the first card is. So like what happened to get this patterning starting, to separate the how you love differently. So that'll be what the first card is.
And if you could just kind of, you're just shuffling, right? Is there magic happening right now? Just
yeah, I literally just shuffle and just shuffling,
okay.
And then one card just like flies out. So I'll try to do it up here. See? And so it just like pops out at the bottom, and then so I'll be card 2, and then card 3. So it's literally not really fall out which ones are them. But yeah, so you actually have 4 cards, and so we have 2 suggestions.
Take them all. I'll take what I can get.
You're like super informative. So the first card that's coming out, and this again is going to be like, what was the origin when the separation between loves? And so the card is 4 of Shells. It says soul searching and reevaluation, and I believe this is a heron. Just by the bird. And so this one in general is talking all about just like you on your soul level. Since it says soul searching, another reason I love this deck is because it gives me little like hints. But just in general, the 4 of the 4 of Shells. First of all, this is gonna be about balance. This is gonna be about emotions. And then also with the hair, and this is going to be like you have the ability to take off, but you're not doing it. You're just standing there and you're taking a walk. You're just going boop, 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 boop. And so going back to the origin of what was going on, there could have been a situation where you had to disconnect. You had to separate the two. There was something that was either confusing or something that was going wrong or something was just amiss, and you had to separate friends, family from like relationship lovers. You had to separate the two. And so this is where this is coming in. And so this is like going down to the soul, your soul level. Your soul is like, okay, we need to be able to distinctify what is going on between these two different relationships, because they are different. And so we are going to show love a little different, but at the same time, you do want them to be connected. And so moving into this present situation, first thing that I see is that it's another, it's another 4 of acorns. Well, another 4, it's a 4 of acorns. And so this is going to be very fire energy. This is very much like go, go, go. I want it right now. I need this in my life. But when we have it, we have these 2 cards. They're almost looking at each other. And so this is where this connection is coming in, is we're looking to the past and being like, where did this come from? And why do I have it here? Because I want to be comfortable in all my relationships. I want this comfort in all aspects of who I am and who I'm with. And that's going to come down to like the community and who you're surrounding yourself with. And so understanding like in the relationship, if the relationship isn't allowing you to be a friend, or if you're not comfortable being a friend in the relationship, what are the expectations within the relationship? So it might not just be you and your side of it, since the relationship is both direct, two-way street. And then moving into the suggestions. And what I like to do is, this is just like general overview of the cards, and then we can see how they all interact with each other. So the cards that are coming out next are, we have 11 Justice and 10 the Wheel. And so first thing that I notice is that these are both very, very powerful major arcana cards. And so these are all about major change, major connections being made, and just major, major, major everything. Really big environments to be around, really big opportunities coming in, and then also this Justice card being here is coming to know the truth, and coming to know that there is one side that is right, and one side that we want to be right, but it's not. And so all of that, and they're all upright, so in general this is like looking more positive, this is looking more external, and so this doesn't have to be an internal, like, what am I doing wrong, and how am I supposed to fix this? No, this can be a conversation, like, hey, I feel like I need to be friends, and then I need to build upon the friendship, or I need to, yeah, so all of that stuff. And this is all looking, let's see, we have 2 cards looking left and we have 2 cards looking right, and so this is very much, and the 2 cards looking left are in the middle, and so they're surrounded by this masculine energy, and so the feminine being energy within a relationship, being surrounded and understood and safe and feeling safe and secure within the relationship, is going to be very important to be able to have this connection and have that communication. That's going to be really, really eye-opening. Mm-hmm. And then looking at the numbers, the only numbers we have in this reading are 4, 1, and then 1, 0. And so 4s are going to be very balancing numbers. This is utilizing all of your resources to make sure that you aren't skipping over anything, you're being very in-depth, and you're going in detail into what's really going on. And then 11 and 10, this is all about being supported and speaking your truth, making sure that you are heard, making sure you are safe enough to say the things that you're feeling and say the things that are coming through. But then also the very last number within this is the number 0, and that's going to be this Wheel card. And so we have the 10. And this is all like new beginnings, new insights, new approaches, but then also moving into the 0, which is yourself, your connection with God, or your higher power, whatever it is. It's going to be that connection. It's also going to be just this wholeness of you. That's what this is bringing about. And so this entire question leading and coming into this central feeling of what is within the middle of that feminine energy that is circled by the masculine. And so this feminine energy going down and breaking it down, being that it seems to be something more so in the inner child understanding of how to love. So that inner child having that clear, distinct difference. And so how is she viewing love? How is she disconnecting from love and keeping them separate instead of integrating them together? Let's see. Does that bring up any questions for you?
I mean, it's so clear. Like, I like the past part. It's like the relationships that were modeled to me were unhealthy, and then my first love like used me and broke up with me and said like, I only stayed with you because you paid for everything and made our life really wonderful and took me on trips. Like, I wanted to break up with you 10 months ago, and I remember in that moment being like, I am never gonna get got by a lover again. And here I am, like a decade later, and I'm like, it's not really working for me.
Yeah.
So that part of the reading, I'm like, yes. And then the other parts, I feel like I need to sit with more. I'd love for you to take a picture of this and message me, so I can like look it up and be more with it later. But it all fits for sure. And the like speaking my power part, speaking my truth. I was reading about unhealthy boundaries today, and it said a sign that you have unhealthy boundaries is that you don't say anything when people say things that hurt you. And that is so something I do. Like if people are yelling or if people get big and loud, I get small and quiet. And like, I'm mad when I'm silent. Because otherwise I'm a chatty Cathy. Yeah. Probably, maybe you too.
Nope, very relatable. Very, very relatable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I also love that this spoke to, this reading didn't have anything about I'm gonna die tomorrow. Like, I think people think that it's like the death card and this and that. And it's like the death card's actually a really powerful card for rebirth and rejuvenation. But
I don't even have a death card. I have a transformation card. That's what they replaced. And so, but yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I don't use tarot to tell the future. That's something like I don't do because there's so many different timelines and there's so many choices, and one choice can shoot you in the completely different direction. So I actually don't do future readings. That's just something. I can do like future potentials, and that's something that I do utilize, but I won't say like this is your future because I just don't think it's not set in stone.
Yeah. And I love that it was so present. That's why I'm like, the present cards felt so real that I'm like, it's so right now. I can't even add anything to it. Like, you're like, does that bring anything up for you? I'm like, I need to sit with it because it is smacking me in my face.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that live demonstration. And I think it speaks to how precise you are as a channeler and an intuitive, that you were able to pull those cards so quickly and do such an efficient and effective reading in a matter of like 10 minutes. And it's because you're so in tune with yourself and with others. And that's a gift that you share through your healing company.
Exactly. Yes. And there are times where it takes a bit longer just because like me and the other person, our energies aren't quite like aligned quite yet. But in general, like a 3-card reading, if it's like a session, I'll go in and I'll like clarify all the cards. And so sometimes I end up with like 9, 12 cards, or other times I end up with just 3. And so it just depends on the reading and the session and the person. But yeah, definitely. It took a lot of time to be able to set it down, and then I had to research a little bit about the cards, and then also a little bit about numerology, and then just in general, like my understanding of like what does a walrus mean. So little different things here and there, but yeah, thank you for noticing because it takes a little bit. I was saging myself and balancing beforehand just to make sure that I'm all good so that I can provide. So definitely takes the intention. The intention is so important.
Yeah, intention is everything. And I know you just did a class on tarot last night. And so for those of you that are interested in that, that's a service that he provides that is obviously going to be really on point and in alignment with his company of like, he can do the reading for you and you can do the reading for yourself, and you can learn how, if it's the fear of the unknown that's keeping you from tapping into this like really powerful tool. I feel like what you just gave me is like the next step in I'm in the place of noticing.
Mm-hmm.
And now you gave me the next step of like, okay, this is where I need to focus my energy and attention on now. So I want to thank you for that gift. And we end every episode with just asking, if you could heal the world, how would you do it?
I love this question. I would empower others to heal themselves, which is exactly what I feel like I'm stepping more into. And so because I can't heal the world. I can't even heal you. I'm a facilitator, which we put the term under as healer. And so my job, my intention is to empower you to be your own most powerful healer. And in doing that, we heal the world.
Amen. Love it. Yes, yes, yes. You are doing that. You're not even stepping into it. You are in it. And I am rooting for you. I support you. I will put links to your things in the show description. And I just want to thank you for gracing the Conscious Hotline with your time. And let's do this again and talk about angel guides and talk about spirit guides and all of it. Yes. So good. Well, you are wonderful. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. And have a blessed and beautiful rest of your evening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.